First, we want to welcome to the show children's author Priscilla Harris, and she has a book series to empower children and to give them positive affirmations, to give them an uplifting message in these times of negativity. So, Priscilla, welcome to Black Authors Matter TV. And make sure you unmute your mic so we can hear you. There you go.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Hey.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. It's just a privilege. Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
Well, welcome to the show. And my co host, Rhonda Lawson, will be joining us later today. She was delayed at work, and so she will be on. And I don't know if you are connected with her online or know about her, but she's been in the literary space for a long time. We've known each other for a long time. And so we started co hosting the show from day one. So it has been great. And you are a children's author, and your books are fairly recent, but you also have another profession that you do other than an author. You're an educator
Correct. That's
and,
correct.
and also a mentor.
I'm a self-love coach. So yeah,
Okay.
do you want me to do my just introduction?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, great. So yes, my name is Priscilla Harris, and I am a children's book author and a self-love coach. I teach children that what they say about themselves in the mirror matters the most. And I champion and support the incredible individuals who are involved in raising children and shaping the lives of the next generation.
Well, there's a song, I believe our children are our future, and that is so true.
Yep.
So, in this environment that we're in now, with so many distractions and so many messages that children are being bombarded with,
Mhm.
how do you break through some of that and make the positive affirmations stick? How do
And
you, how do you take root?
that's a great question. And I often say that, there's so much noise around us, so
Yes.
much noise. And it's like, who do you listen to? Well, the first thing that in my books, I say who I can. It promotes them listening to their voice first. But here's the thing: what if they don't know that they have a voice? I think that sometimes we just assume children, as they are being raised, automatically have a self love and a self positive talk for themselves. But let's be realistic. In my own life, because I can't talk about anyone else, but in my own life, there are several times in my journey in this life that I talk negative to myself because I really didn't know who I was. And self-love is different from self-esteem.
Okay, what's the difference?
Okay, so self-esteem is I feel like I have a skill and I feel proud that I could do that skill. I could showcase it. Self-esteem is that, I just spread my chest open and say, hey, I got this, so I have confidence. I have a skill and I feel sure about something that I'm doing. Self-love is an internal work. It's a work that kind of goes together with emotional intelligence. It's a understanding that I can manage my own emotions, and foster a deeper self-awareness that essentially will cultivate the self-love for myself, that even in challenging times I know that I'm still an awesome person inside. I know that what I may not succeed at, or something that a flaw I might have, or something I may not be able to get like other people get, it doesn't dictate that a great person, that I have a greatness DNA, and it will always remain there, regardless of challenges that might come a person's way. So, researchers studied it, and they saw that those that had a high emotional intelligence were well capable and more compassionate to understand that even though things don't succeed, like all of us have dreams and we want things to go our way, we want them to, to be the best that we can give it, and sometimes they don't, that it doesn't destroy us internally. So
Okay.
self-esteem is more an outside thing, confidence, whereas self-love is an inside, internal confidence.
Okay. Well, so are you saying self-love precedes self-esteem, or
I do. I
okay, so
from my perspective, yes.
okay, so in teaching children, the first teachers children have are their parents
Yes.
or their guardians. So
Yes.
that's who starts out teaching them who they are, be it from a genealogical standpoint or from a self-worth standpoint, and what you should aim for, how you should dream, or not limiting yourself, and
Yes.
not just seeing, actually not seeing where you are as the end of it, end all be all, that there's more you can stretch and do. And normally those messages, or the lack thereof, the positive or the negative, they start with parents or guardians or who are at home. It starts at home.
The caretakers, correct.
Yeah. Mhm. So
But
once, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, and that's why I support and I support those that have agreed to take the responsibility, whether you're a parent by birth or a foster parent or an aunt, an uncle, that have desire to influence and impact the young people. So I support them in that. And you know how they used to say, when people become parents, that there was no book to tell me how to do it. I didn't go to school to do it. I didn't have any way to learn. I just trial and error. So in today's society, that's really not the case, because you have so much that people have put out to kind of cultivate and assist the caregivers in various ways that they can use those resources to help them better mentor, coach, and raise the next generation, because it's needed. We have to get back to the basics. That's basically what I'm trying to say. We got a lot of technology that's going on that's really great. It's all outstanding, and it does a lot of stuff for us, but there's nothing like that human touch, that human alignment, that human impact. Because children, you could tell them all day, don't go touch the stove. But if they see you touching it, they're going to be like, well, you do it. So we want to model also, as the caregivers, what we want the children to ultimately have for a lifetime.
Now, one could argue that there's so many messages today and so much information today that people are confused.
Mm-hmm.
I see people posting questions, scenarios, anecdotal question of the day. If your child does this, how should you respond?
Mm-hmm.
And in generations past, the
Mm-hmm.
answers were based on their environment, the adults in their environment that they grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have a lot of so-called experts and people who claim to know about raising children, who a lot of times they've never raised any children, or their relationship with their own children is strained. I'll put it
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, that's
that.
the politically correct way. It's strained a little bit.
So to me, parents are in a position where they are more confused
Yes.
because things used to be simple. Now they're not.
Right, because
There
of the law.
basically used to be one answer to these questions, or maybe two. Now there are 15 answers. And so which one do they choose? And so that becomes a challenge. And then a lot of parents don't have good self-esteem or self-love.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so it's hard to give what you don't have. It's hard to transfer to your child what you don't have. Well, there's one example, just a quick example. Well, my generation, and I won't say how old I am, but um, we were told we could do whatever we wanted to do. And this was in the face of, I would argue, more racism than we have today. I mean, more obstacles. But we were never told that racism could stop us from doing anything. That if we set our minds to it, we could do whatever we wanted to work for, we could have. And that doesn't seem to be the message now.
Hmm. Well,
It doesn't seem to be a universal message like it was for us. And now it seems like people are telling them they can't do stuff because of this, this, and this, and this. And everybody needs a safe space, and they need so many things that to me it creates confusion, but
okay.
I
So
don't. But
let's-
you're in the education field, so
I
you can give me some insights into how is that message of hope or self-esteem or self-love, how is it being transferred today?
That's a great question. And I want to simplify because we can make it complicated or we can intentionally make it simple. The bottom line is that as a caregiver, parents, grandparents, whoever is guiding their children, I say be open minded to different ways of how we were taught. When I was growing up, it was more about providing. It wasn't a lot of emotional nurturing because the focus was we need to work, we need to pay bills, we need to keep a roof over the house, we need to keep food, we need to clothes. Now, my dad was strict on education because from his mindset, um, the focus was get an education so that you can do better. You know, he only went up to the he only went to the 6th grade, and so education was key for him. And so I have 9 siblings, and all 9 of us graduated from high school, and more than half of us have college degrees and RNs, and doing very well. And even the ones that may not have gone to college, they've done well in life because my father he demonstrated hard work
Mm.
and the importance of it. And so what I'm trying to allude to is that we can simplify it by making sure that as caregivers, are we intentional on building the self-love, the confidence, the structure in the young people's lives that we have agreed to impact, influence? And so regardless of all the noise around, if we instill in them from an early age, know who you are from the inside out, check with your child. What do you say to yourself when you're by yourself? Like I know that I know me, I've heard plenty of times, and you might agree, where when someone make a mistake, they be like, "Oh, I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? I'm so stupid." Why would they call themselves stupid by making a mistake? Because they haven't been taught. Self-love and self-positive talk, you have to teach it. It has to be a part of the conversation in the nurturing and the
Okay, we have a a freeze, and I'm hoping it will correct itself, or otherwise Priscilla will need to log back in. It happens when it's live, anything can happen. And normally, if it's this long, normally they have to log back in. So while she is logging back in or correcting that, because I don't even know if she realizes it's frozen. That happens too sometimes. Um, but I wanted to look at the comments that we have so far tonight. And let's see, Janelle Lohman, she has said people are often searching for answers to their questions and are getting those answers from incorrect sources. And that is so true because your information is only as good as the source that you utilize. And if you get your information from a source that's not credible or just a source that's not going where you want to go, sometimes the source may just be going on a different path than the one you want to go on. So it's good to get hints and suggestions and any advice or a demonstration. A lot of times it's just better to see somebody doing something than to talk to them or have them talk to you. Sometimes it's at a distance. You just see people and how they conduct themselves in their lives. So that's very important. So let's see if we have any more statements. We don't. I am going to try to text Priscilla while we're because when it's live, anything can happen. I'm going to try to text her to let her know that she froze on the screen and she needs to call us back. So let's see. I have her number here. Hopefully this is a cell phone number. And we're going to. And thank you all for your patience. When you do a live show, it is anything can take place. And I think she's back. I think.
Damn, hi. So
Hi, okay. I was getting ready to text you because you froze on the screen. And so I don't know if you knew you had froze. You just like froze.
I saw you froze and I kept talking because I didn't know if I was still being recorded with the audience. So I saw
Oh,
you
okay.
froze. Yeah. So I thought you froze. I was waiting to see if you were going to come back.
Oh, okay. Well, on my screen, you were frozen. And so as
Okay.
since the show emanates from my end, I think it keeps going because I'm looking at it on my phone. I log into my phone to look at it live. And then so I can check the questions. And on the live on my phone, it has you frozen. But anyway, welcome back.
Glad.
And you were saying you were talking about um the way people get messages or the way if you say that I did something, I'm stupid.
Right. So I know you've heard people say that.
Yes. Hmm.
And I cringe when I hear that because making a mistake doesn't make you stupid. And although they people say those types of negative talk to themselves, in their mind harmless, there's power in words.
Hmm.
Words are so powerful. They really are. And you and I and everyone else, where we are in life is because of words that either we spoke or someone spoke over us or someone spoke to us. It really shapes our lives. And so I Say Who I Am really focuses on making sure that we cultivate positive talk, positive talk first for ourselves, and then that spills over to, how you speak to others. It makes a difference.
Okay. So what about when you engage in self-reflection? Sometimes if you make a mistake and you you can say that what you did was stupid without saying that you're stupid. Do you understand what I mean?
Of course, and there is a difference.
Sometimes it's self-reflection. You can say to yourself, yeah, I should have known better than to do that, and I won't do it the next time.
Well,
So,
I'm not talking about someone saying that I did a stupid thing. I'm saying when they say I'm so stupid.
okay,
When
okay,
they attribute that to themselves and they say it often. I've been around people that have done that. or oh, I can't do anything right. Like, why would you say that about yourself? And you say that because there's something deep down in you that haven't been tapped back into, because we all are born with confidence, curiosity. We're filled with all of the goodness and some buffoonery or some mischief in there too. Because you don't
Well,
have
we all have free will.
yes. So you don't have to teach a child to not do wrong. They just instinctively, okay, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, that's the truth.
So
To teach them to do right, because they don't figure wrong out on their own.
yes. But if you cultivate from a beginning point, and that's what I was saying when we were in that little freeze thing, I was talking about the fact that the I Say Who I Am books endeavor is to cultivate that positive reinforcement within self from infant all the way to 17. So the series is a 4-book series. 2 books are published. They were published in 2023, and the other 2 books are going to be published this year. So the first 2 books, volume 1 and volume 2, speaks to infant to 4-year-old, and then 5 to 8. And then the other 2 that's going to be a part of the entire series is the preteen, the middle passage, because that's their middle-aged passage. And then for the teens, succeeding the 4 seasons. I talk about particular things that they're going through at that age. So my whole endeavor, like I said, from infant all the way to 17, that we have repetitively, consistently allowed them to nurture and grow in knowing that I have self-love for myself, and therefore I have self-love for others, which is the commandment: love others as you love yourself. The reason why people walk around with anger and angst and frustrations and unavailable emotionally and don't know how to really relate to people or connect with people is because they don't have a self-love of themselves to be able to give that back, because we're always reflecting what's inside of us.
Okay. Now, do you have your books, your 2 that are available? You have
I
them?
I
I want
do.
to take a look at them and see. So the I Say Who I Am.
Yep,
Now,
this volume
so
one
they
and
have
volume
different. They
two.
have different subheads. So you said one is for the youngest age.
This is for the toddlers, for the
Okay.
infant to 4.
Okay.
And depending on where they are in the educational spectrum, so 5 years old could have these as well. And then this one is for, K through like 3rd grade, 5 through 8. So this one has more words. So not only are they learning positive words, not only are they learning about self-love with themselves, they're learning colors and activities. The one for the older kids have a lot of activities in the back, and additional thing, coloring, mazes, and a additional thing. And also, um who knew I was also a songwriter, and I wrote 2 songs to go with the books to help reinforce the message. So
Okay.
yes.
So how do readers or children access the song?
So great question. So in the back there are QR codes.
Okay. All right.
They just scan the codes,
Okay.
and they get the songs, they get the videos, both songs, they get the videos, they get access to my website, which have various products out there. I actually am doing a special for anyone that see this video. I'm going to have it up for the rest of the month of January, so you can get the bundle special, and the bundle special basically comes with both books, both books, and I actually sign the books as well. And I have wristbands. So you have the wristbands for the adults, you have the
Okay.
wristbands for the juniors, and for the infants. So I didn't leave anybody out.
Okay. All right. So one thing that bothers me when I see parents out with their children sometimes, I hate to hear parents, and I would say cussing at their kids,
Right.
like in anger. I just that's that's not a good way to communicate with your child. And if you do that, then they're going to be cussing at people, and they're going to see that as this is what I do as a parent. I cut. I speak in anger with an angry tone, and it doesn't mean that you don't things that your children do don't make you angry, because sometimes they do. But
Mhm.
using that kind of language with your children, it's just inappropriate, and it has long-term consequences.
It does. It does. It does. Helping our kids grow up in today's world is very important because it sets the foundation for them being happy, caring, and a lasting future for tomorrow. I mean, so we want to demonstrate the best that we can. But to your point, you can't give something that you never had.
And
So
that's true. A lot of them are doing that because that's the way their parents talk to them.
correct. And so that's why I said let's simplify it. If you're confused about I'm trying to, emulate what I went through and how I was raised, and you want to change that dynamic, don't make it complicated. There's a lot of resources out there. That will teach you. My books endeavor to do that, support you. I'm not trying to, it's not a shade on parents or caregivers. It's just a support. I'm here, and that's why I started. I'm Priscilla Harris. I support all of those amazing individuals that have committed their lives to nurture the next generation. So I'm supporting you. I do want you to know that you're a great parents. Parents are great. And no matter how many mistakes that they may have made in their process because of their upbringing or the things that they've endured, you're still great because you're still in it. You haven't given up and you're doing the best. And we have to celebrate that. We celebrate every little step that you take to improve yourself, regardless of the outcome, because the effort makes you have to celebrate the little victories to keep you motivated. So I wanted to share also while I have a chance.
Okay.
Here's my little.
It's a mirror.
Yes, it says I am Priscilla, and it has
Okay.
all kinds of different encouraging words. You're confident, bold, radiant, beautiful, worthy, brilliant, powerful. So, I do have sell these two just to let people know because they're, when you combine these fun ways to get the learning or get the education across, it makes the kids more willing to want to be a part of it and want to really get excited about it. So I try to think of all these really cool ways to incorporate to get the attention, the engagement of the children. But I want to say this one thing. You had mentioned earlier that, and we just talked about it again, that you can't give something that you don't have. Like that self-love or positive talk. You were raised by cussing and all of that. So it's like you don't know anything else. What I will say to you is that majority of the adults that I speak to that purchase my books, they tell me all the time, when are you coming out with one for the adults?
Okay.
Because they tell me I need this as well. But my thought is and what my hope is that as they are reading this and teaching their children it, that they get it too.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's true. They can be empowered by teaching and transferring this information to their children. Well, Priscilla, we're at the end of our time, and we are so excited that you joined us tonight. Thank you for sharing to the next generation in terms of teaching them self-love, self-esteem, and self-worth. And kudos to you as an educator, because you and all the other educators are molding the leaders of tomorrow. So thank you so much for your service. Normally we use that for military people,
Well,
but
I'm military too. I'm military too.
military too. Okay. Well, our teachers are in the trenches, so we appreciate you and thank you for being a guest on the show.
Can I shout out my website? Or are you gonna put it in the
You can. I'm 2 minutes past my
Okay
time.
then. Okay then. All right. Well, thank you so much for inviting. And I appreciate everything. Bye everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Have a great evening.
Bye.